Imagine the edge of a bag peeling back like sunburned skin after 3 months of daily carry. Now imagine paying $100 for that experience. That is what the handbag industry has been selling most women for decades. And the gap between what a bag costs to make and what the retail market charges for it is wider in handbags than in almost any other category of women's fashion. This ranking has one rule only: what you actually get for the money. Not the name, not the campaign, not the cultural cachet. The leather, the stitching, the hardware, and the honest relationship between the price and the construction underneath it. 10 brands, ranked from worst to best. The cheap ones win. Number 10. Aldo handbags. Aldo's handbag range is the most consistent example in accessible retail of a brand charging mid-market prices for fast fashion construction, and doing it confidently enough that most shoppers never notice the gap until the bag is already failing. The uppers across the core handbag range use a bonded leather or PU synthetic that simulates the visual qualities of genuine leather at the point of sale, and diverges from it rapidly once the bag enters daily use. Bonded leather is not leather in the functional sense that matters for a bag. It is leather fiber, reconstituted with polyurethane and pressed into sheets. It peels rather than creases when it reaches the end of its usable life, producing the distinctive surface flaking at flex points and edges that Aldo bag owners document consistently in reviews after a few months of regular carry. The hardware uses a lightweight zinc alloy that tarnishes in contact with skin moisture and environmental salt at a rate that produces visible discoloration within a single season of daily use. The magnetic closure systems use a magnet strength calibrated for visual security rather than functional security, meaning the bag opens under the light pressure of contents shifting during movement in ways that a properly engineered magnetic closure does not. At $50 to $110, Aldo is charging a price that implies a quality level the construction does not reach, and the gap between the two is consistent enough across the range to reflect a deliberate production decision, rather than occasional quality control failure. There is one more construction detail worth naming before moving on, because it is the detail that most shoppers discover too late, and most reviews mention too briefly to be useful at the point of purchase. The base of the Aldo structured bag uses a cardboard stiffener rather than a rigid internal frame. Cardboard stiffeners provide the appearance of structural integrity at the point of display. They do not provide it in use. A cardboard base absorbs moisture from humid conditions, from a damp surface the bag is set on, and from the condensation that forms inside a bag carrying a water bottle. Once that moisture absorption begins, the base softens, distorts, and eventually delaminates from the bag's outer shell, producing a base that is simultaneously soft, uneven, and visually obvious through the bag's exterior fabric. At $50 to $110, a bag that requires an aftermarket fix to perform the basic structural function its silhouette implies is not a deal at any price. The next brand charges less and delivers considerably more, which is the pattern that will run through this entire ranking from this point forward. Number 9. Zara handbags. Zara's handbag range is built on the same operational model that made the brand's clothing the defining fast fashion case study of the past 2 decades. Speed from trend identification to production, maximum visual impact at the point of display, and a construction standard calibrated to last through the trend cycle rather than beyond it. The structural bags, the totes, the shoulder bags, the east-west silhouettes that cycle through Zara's seasonal range use an internal stiffening system built from cardboard or low-density foam rather than the rigid internal frames that maintain bag shape across years of daily use. That construction choice is invisible at the point of purchase and determinative of how quickly the bag loses its silhouette integrity once it enters regular use. The leather uppers, where present in the range, are a corrected grain or split leather rather than the full grain leather the visual presentation implies. Corrected grain leather has its natural surface sanded away and replaced with an artificial uniform grain. It looks consistent and premium in a Zara display environment. It does not age the way full-grain leather ages, developing peeling and cracking rather than the patina and character that genuine leather produces under the same timeline of use. At $45 to $120, Zara bags are priced for the trend cycle they were designed for. The shopper who buys them with that expectation is making an informed decision. The shopper who buys them expecting the longevity that the visual presentation implies is not. There is a specific Zara bag category that escapes the worst of the brand's construction compromises. The unstructured canvas tote in the basics range is not pretending to be anything other than canvas stitched into a bag shape. It has no corrected grain problem, no bonded leather peeling timeline, and no cardboard base pretending to be a structural frame. At $12 to $22, it is honest about what it is. And honesty about what a product is and what it will do is worth more than an aspirational presentation that misrepresents both. The shopper who buys Zara's canvas tote, knowing what she is buying, is making a better purchasing decision than the shopper buying the Zara structured bag. At 4 times the price expecting performance, the construction cannot deliver. Something completely different is coming next on this list. A brand that charges less than Zara for several of its pieces and builds in a way that Zara's production model structurally cannot match. Number 8. Vera Bradley, Cotton Quilted Line. Vera Bradley's Cotton Quilted Line is one of the most recognizable bag aesthetics in American retail, and one of the most polarizing. The brand has built a genuinely loyal customer base around its signature quilted cotton patterns, and that loyalty reflects real product satisfaction rather than marketing manipulation. For a specific use case and a specific customer, the cotton quilted Vera Bradley is genuinely the right bag. The problem is the specific use case. Quilted cotton bags perform well as casual, lightweight, low-stakes, carry pieces that do not need to maintain structural integrity under significant load or project any particular aesthetic authority in a professional or semi-formal context. They perform poorly as everyday professional bags, as travel bags that will be checked or overhead binned, and as any carry situation where the bag needs to communicate something about the person carrying it beyond a specific kind of cheerful casualness. The cotton construction does not hold structure independently. The bag's shape is entirely dependent on what is inside it, which means an underfilled Vera Bradley collapses into a soft pile while an overfilled one bulges in ways the quilted exterior cannot control. The zipper quality across the cotton quilted range has been a consistent quality complaint, with the zipper pull separating from the slider mechanism and the slider itself developing stiffness from cotton fiber ingestion within a year of regular use. At $30 to $85 for most cotton quilted pieces, the price is honest about the product. The positioning of the brand in the broader handbag market is not always equally honest about the specific use limitations of the cotton construction. The Vera Bradley leather collection deserves a specific mention before this entry closes, because it is a product that most Vera Bradley customers do not know exists. The leather collection uses a pebbled, full-grain leather with a hardware specification considerably above what the brand's cotton quilted line uses, and a construction standard that competes honestly with Kate Spade's mainline collection at a comparable or lower price point. At $55 to $110, the Vera Bradley leather collection is consistently the most overlooked genuine leather value in the accessible American handbag market, sitting unnoticed beside a quilted cotton range that the brand's entire marketing infrastructure exists to promote. If you have been shopping handbags by brand name rather than by construction detail, what comes next on this list is exactly the kind of knowledge that changes how you spend your money permanently. Subscribe now so you get every breakdown like this one the moment it drops, because the next video covers what the same brands are hiding in their footwear range. Number 7. Coach, current production. Coach is the brand on this list that generates the most disagreement. And the disagreement is understandable, because the brand's current situation is genuinely complicated in ways that a simple good or bad verdict does not capture accurately. The Coach of the 1980s and 1990s was a genuine American leather goods brand, producing full-grain leather bags to a construction standard that justified its positioning as an accessible luxury option for the American professional woman. That brand built a reputation through the product. The Coach of the current decade is a different company making a different product under the same name with the same logo. The brand's repositioning toward a broader, younger, more trend-driven customer base required construction compromises that the original production model would not have accommodated. The coated canvas that now constitutes a significant portion of the Coach bag range is a functional material with genuine durability properties. It is not leather. And charging leather-adjacent prices for a coated canvas bag is a value proposition that requires the brand name to do the work the material cannot. The genuine leather pieces that remain in the current Coach range use a corrected grain leather in most lines, rather than the full-grain leather the brand's heritage implies. At $250 to $450 for mid-range pieces, the current Coach is asking for a price that the construction no longer earns independently of the name. The legacy Coach piece that occasionally appears at TJ Maxx, at consignment stores, and at estate sales deserves a completely separate evaluation from the current production discussed above, because it is a different product. Older Coach bags produced before the brand's repositioning used a full-grain leather designated as Coach leather that the brand developed through proprietary tannery relationships built across decades of production. A pre-repositioning Coach bag found at a consignment store for $30 to $70 is a completely different value proposition from a current production Coach bag found at a department store for $300. One is a full-grain leather bag built to a construction standard the brand no longer applies. The other is a coated canvas or corrected grain leather bag asking for a price that the full-grain legacy implied and the current material cannot support. The next brand is less expensive than current Coach and is doing something the current Coach cannot do, regardless of how much it spends on its next campaign. Number 6. Kate Spade, mainline. Kate Spade. Mainline, the genuine full-price collection, rather than the outlet production that shares the brand's name but not its construction standard, earns its position on this list through a consistent and honest relationship between price and product. That relationship is not uncomplicated. Kate Spade's mainline bags use a genuine leather upper in the core structured bag range, with a pebbled or smooth finish depending on the specific style and a hardware quality that independent reviewers have placed above what the price point strictly requires. The internal organization is a specific brand strength. Multiple slip pockets, a zip interior compartment, and a key clip in a consistent layout that the brand applies across its range, rather than varying by style in ways that make each purchase a new discovery experience for the customer. The stitching density at the seam junctions exceeds what most comparable brands at this price point use, which is the construction detail that determines how the bag holds up at the stress points that daily use concentrates load on. The handle and strap attachment points use a reinforced stitching pattern in the mainline collection, rather than the bar tack attachment that lower-cost construction uses at the same junction. At $220 to $380 for mainline structured pieces, Kate Spade delivers construction quality that the price honestly reflects. The caveat is the outlet production. Outlet Kate Spade bags, produced specifically for off-price retail channels, use different materials and different construction standards than the mainline collection, and they carry the same logo on the outside in a way that makes the distinction invisible without knowing to look for it. The Kate Spade outlet production problem is worth dwelling on longer than most discussions of the brand allow, because the scale of the outlet production relative to the mainline collection has reached a point where the outlet bag is no longer the exception to the brand's quality standard. The interior label language, the leather weight, the hardware gauge, and the stitching density at the handle attachment all speak more clearly than the logo to the question of which production standard the bag in hand actually represents. The shopper who knows to ask those questions at the point of purchase is the shopper who can still find genuine Kate Spade mainline value in the current market. The next brand on this list costs less than Kate Spade's mainline collection and outperforms it on a specific construction metric that matters more than any other for the question of how long the bag actually lasts. Number 5. Fossil is the most undervalued brand in the American accessible leather goods market, and it has been undervalued for so long that the undervaluation has become a stable feature of the handbag category rather than a temporary gap waiting to be corrected. The brand produces genuine leather bags at prices that the competition has never been able to match for comparable material quality. Because Fossil's design brief has always centered on functional leather goods rather than on aspirational lifestyle positioning. And functional leather goods at honest prices do not generate the marketing momentum that aspirational positioning does. The pebbled leather crossbody range uses a top-grain leather upper with a surface treatment that provides protection against moisture and abrasion without the visual uniformity that corrected grain leather produces. Top grain leather retains enough of the hide's natural character to develop a genuine aging quality over time. Not the dramatic patina of full grain leather, but a meaningful surface evolution that communicates quality to anyone who understands leather behavior. The hardware is the most specific Fossil advantage over every brand ranked below it on this list. Solid brass or solid steel components rather than the zinc alloy used by Aldo, Zara, and most of the mid-range accessible brands. Components that do not tarnish underskin moisture and environmental exposure at the rate that alloy hardware does, and that maintain their finish quality across the years of daily use that a well-constructed leather bag can survive. Fossil's watch heritage is directly relevant to the bag construction, and most handbag discussions of the brand never make the connection. A brand that built its primary business around watch construction develops a hardware standard and a material sourcing discipline that transfers meaningfully into leather goods production. The brass and steel hardware specifications that Fossil uses across its bag range reflect the same sourcing standards the brand applies to watch case components. The result is bag hardware that outperforms most accessible brands, not because Fossil set out to make the best bag hardware in the category, but because making anything less than solid brass and solid steel hardware would have felt internally inconsistent with what the brand understood itself to be. At $60 to $130 for core leather pieces, Fossil is doing something the brands above it on this list charge considerably more to attempt. And doing it without the marketing infrastructure that would allow most shoppers to know they are looking at a better product than the price implies. If this ranking is rewiring how you think about handbag value, hit the like button right now because it genuinely helps this video reach more women who deserve to know this before their next purchase. Number 4. Brahmin. Brahmin is the brand that independent handbag reviewers recommend most consistently when the question is where to find the strongest construction quality relative to the price in the American accessible leather goods market. And it is the brand that the majority of shoppers asking that question have never heard of before receiving the answer. The Melbourne collection uses a full-grain leather with a croc embossing that goes into the leather rather than sitting on top of it as a surface coating. That distinction is the difference between an embossed texture that maintains its definition through years of use and one that wears flat at the highest contact points within a single season. The construction uses a structured base that holds the bag's shape independently, without requiring the bag to be fully packed to maintain its silhouette. And a lining quality that matches the exterior leather standard, rather than using a cheaper interior material once the visible exterior has already been built to an impressive level. The saddle stitch technique used throughout the Brahmin range distributes thread stress across 2 needles simultaneously, making each seam structurally stronger than single needle machine stitching at the same junction. That stitching difference does not show in a product photograph. It shows in how the bag holds up at the handle attachment points and the strap junctions after 2 years of daily carry. Brahmin's color and finish range deserves specific attention because it reflects a design philosophy that most accessible leather goods brands have never seriously attempted. The brand offers its core silhouettes in a range of exotic embossed leathers, croc, snake, and lizard embossing applied to full-grain hides at price points that the exotic leather market typically reserves for considerably more expensive brands. The Brahmin color palette also reflects a design awareness that most accessible brands do not bring to seasonal planning. Deep jewel tones that deepen further with the patina development of full-grain leather over time. At $170 to $320 for core collection pieces, Brahmin sits below Kate Spade's mainline pricing and outperforms it on material quality, stitching construction, and structural integrity in ways that the price difference makes genuinely difficult to explain through any logic other than brand awareness determining value perception. The next brand costs less than Brahmin and makes a construction argument so specific and so durable that the brand has never needed to change its formula because nobody has successfully improved on it. Number 3. Longchamp. Longchamp's Le Pliage is the most underrated bag construction argument in the accessible handbag market. And the reason it is underrated is the same reason it belongs at number 3 on this list. The bag is made of nylon. Nylon is not leather. And the handbag market's quality hierarchy has always placed leather at the top and nylon at the bottom. That hierarchy is not wrong as a general principle. It is wrong specifically for the Le Pliage. The coated nylon canvas that Longchamp uses in the Le Pliage is not commodity nylon. It is a specific coated construction with a water resistance and surface durability that has allowed owners to machine wash the bag without damage. To use it in conditions that would destroy a leather bag of comparable price, and to continue using it across 10, 15, and in documented cases, 20 years of regular carry without the structural failure that terminates the useful life of every bag on this list, ranked below it. The genuine leather trim, the saddle-stitched leather handles, and the solid metal hardware maintain the structural integrity at the bag's highest stress attachment points, which is where the nylon construction alone would be vulnerable without the leather reinforcement. At $100 to $145, the Le Pliage is priced below every leather bag on this list that can claim comparable longevity. The Le Pliage size range deserves more attention than the standard brand discussion provides, because the size significantly changes how the bag functions, and buying the wrong size is the most consistent source of Le Pliage disappointment in the owner community. The small Le Pliage is a genuine everyday handbag replacement for the minimalist carrier. The medium is the most versatile size in the range, and the size that the multi-decade durability record most consistently references in owner testimonials. The large and extra large are genuine tote and travel bag replacements that need enough contents to maintain their shape comfortably. Checking the handle attachment stitching on a large or extra large Le Pliage before purchase is the single most useful quality check available for this specific bag at this specific size. It takes 10 seconds, and it is the difference between a Le Pliage that performs for 20 years and one that shows handle stress within the first 2. The next brand makes a completely different construction argument, one built on something that the entire handbag industry claims to value and almost never actually delivers at the price points where it claims to deliver it. Number 2. Dooney and Bourke, Alto and Florentine. Dooney and Bourke's Alto and Florentine collections use full-grain leather. And the significance of that material choice, in the context of this ranking, requires a specific explanation that most handbag discussions never provide clearly enough to be useful at the point of purchase. Full-grain leather is the top layer of the hide. the layer that retains the hide's natural grain surface, the surface that develops patina and character with age, rather than peeling, cracking, or wearing flat. It is the most expensive cut of leather available in commercial bag production, and it is the cut that most brands at any accessible price point have stopped using because the cost savings from switching to corrected grain, split leather, or bonded alternatives are immediate and significant. Dooney and Bourke has maintained full-grain leather in the Alto and Florentine lines not as a marketing claim, but as a production standard. The bags smell like leather because they are leather at the hide level rather than at the coating level. They develop surface character with use rather than surface damage. And they communicate quality to anyone who handles them with enough leather experience to know what full grain feels like against the hand. The saddle stitch construction throughout the Alto and Florentine range uses the same two-needle technique that Brahmin uses, but applied to a heavier cut of leather that takes the stitch more deeply and holds it more securely under the load that daily carry concentrates at handle attachment points. At $180 to $320 for core pieces, Dooney and Bourke is the strongest full-grain leather argument available in the American accessible handbag market. The Dooney and Bourke outlet production problem mirrors the Kate Spade situation closely enough to warrant the same warning. The brand produces an outlet line that flows through TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and the brand's own outlet stores at prices that imply the same construction standard as the Alto and Florentine mainline collection. The outlet production uses a pebble grain leather rather than the full grain Alto or Florentine leather. The verification check for Dooney is the leather smell, the surface texture, and the weight of the bag in hand relative to its size. Full grain leather is heavier than pebble grain at the same bag dimensions because the hide is thicker and denser. That weight difference is detectable at the point of purchase for anyone who has handled enough leather to develop a reference point, and it is the check that separates the shopper who always finds the good Dooney at TJ Maxx from the shopper who sometimes leaves disappointed. One brand remains. It earns the top position not through heritage, not through marketing, and not through the cultural authority that most handbag conversations use as a proxy for construction quality. It earns it through a business model decision so structurally different from every other brand on this list that the price to construction comparison it produces is almost impossible to explain through conventional retail logic. Number 1. Quince leather bags. Quince earns the top position on this list through an argument so simple and so consistently validated by independent construction comparison that the handbag industry's refusal to engage with it directly is itself the most convincing evidence that the argument is correct. The argument is this: the gap between what a leather bag costs to produce and what the conventional retail market charges for it is not a quality gap, it is a markup gap. Wholesale margins, retail margins, brand premium, advertising spend, influencer partnerships, and the premium attached to a name that the marketing budget made aspirationally valuable. None of those costs produce leather that is better than the leather a brand, without those costs can source from the same certified factories. And Quince sources from the same certified factories. The Italian leather tote, the structured crossbody, and the leather shoulder bag in the Quince range use a full-grain leather sourced from Italian tanneries that supply brands charging 4 and 5 times more for bags produced in the same facilities to the same material specification. The brand discloses its factory relationships with a transparency that most handbag brands decline to offer, because the disclosure would invite the direct comparison that the brand premium is specifically designed to prevent the consumer from making. The hardware uses solid brass rather than zinc alloy. The lining quality matches the exterior leather standard rather than cutting cost on the interior, once the visible exterior has already been built impressively. The stitching uses a consistent density and thread weight at the seam junctions that the independent reviewer community has placed above several brands, charging twice the price for comparable construction evidence. Before clicking away, there are 3 practical checks worth applying to any Quince leather bag at the point of purchase or delivery. The first is the leather smell. Full-grain Italian leather has a specific, rich character that chrome-tanned leather and synthetic alternatives do not produce. The second is the edge finishing. Run a fingernail lightly along the top edge of the bag's body, along the handle edges, and along the strap edges. A properly finished edge is smooth, consistent, and does not catch or peel under light nail pressure. The third is the stitching tension. Hold the bag under direct light and examine the stitching at the handle attachment, the strap attachment, and the zipper border. Even tension across every stitch means consistent stress distribution. Uneven tension means early fatigue failure at the stitch points under daily load. At $80 to $160 for core leather pieces, Quince is producing a bag that the conventional retail market would price at $250 to $400 if the brand had spent the production savings on the campaign rather than on the leather. The campaign would have made the brand more visible. It would not have made the leather better. 10 brands. 1 test applied to every single one. Turn the bag over, feel the weight, smell the leather, run the zipper twice, check the stitching at the handle. That 90-second check tells you more than any brand name, any store environment, or any price tag will ever volunteer on its own. The pattern across this entire ranking is the same at every position. The brands spending their budget on leather earn their place at the top. The brands spending their budget on campaigns earn their place at the bottom. The money always follows one direction or the other, and the shopper who knows which direction to follow makes a completely different decision in the store. Every time. This channel follows the money, not the marketing. Click the next video on the left right now. We are breaking down the exact same comparison for women's shoes, and the brands charging luxury prices for mid-market construction in that category are even harder to spot than anything on this list.